with caution.
Alright, welcome ladies and gentlemen to another Elite Semi-Finals of the Tiberian Dawn Global League Season 3. My name is Caution, I'll be your host for this afternoon. And we've got a GDI mirrors on our hands for the first match. We have Mr. Cav in the top left. Aware of his performance this season so far, has had an outstanding performance. And here he is going up against Mr. Nudels, who had a very similar performance as well this season. Definitely deserved to be here as well. The winner of this match will face Borgmo in the finals. And we've got a GDI mirror on our hands. Surprisingly enough, both players went random. And we're playing on the first map, Tiberian Rift, Twisted Rift, whatever you want to call it. This map is a classic. Everybody knows Cav, coming from the RA2 scene from CNCnet. Made his way into OpenRA, established a name for himself in the Red Alert Global League, and now here he is trying to do the same thing in the Tiberian Dawn Global League. And it's working out so far for him. Noodles, very familiar as well, especially among the TD people. He's been practicing, I think, as long as I've been doing OpenRA streams. He has been playing TD, and he has definitely improved a ton. Because when I started playing TD, I was still able to beat him, and I didn't play TD that much at all. But here he is playing now amongst the top of the elite class. We got Cav already doing some scouting around the base. Both players going for a similar build. There's a pretty big starting patch, so I'm assuming people are gonna stay there until second refinery, maybe even get a comm center out before moving out. But it's going to be interesting to see whether they are going straight for the blue. A lot of people like to go for this expansion over here, so you get access to this one and the blue. Or are they going to move, in Cav's case, downwards, and in Noodles' case, upwards, which is more of the CNC3 classic expansion route. Ooh, that Humvee is getting caught. Noodles playing a little bit greedy here. Cav went for 3 Humvees straight away. But there's a guard tower to greet Cav's Humvees. And Cav didn't realize in time, almost lost 2 Humvees for that. So pretty good preemptive guard tower for Noodles. And there's the move out from Cav after 2 refineries. And Noodles is going for comm center before moving out. Both players should be on the same amount of harvesters. I think Noodles is just going to be a little bit faster. Oh, it's gonna be Cav. That's actually kind of interesting, because Cav went for 3 Humvees straight away, I think. And this is classic CNC3 as well. You don't have to move out that far in order to get access to the patch, and that's pretty much the only reason why you want to expand down there, unless he wants to push forward after that. I'm going to have to find out and see. It could also potentially be that he's just going to go over here and then afterwards move to the blue. We'll have to find out. There's an engineer in the APC. Maybe possibly wants to take this oil, but I feel like on this map it's not really beneficial to go for that oil so close to the racks of the enemy. But it could be done. There's the first medium tank from Noodles coming onto the battlefield. And Cav does still not have a comm center, which I feel is an interesting strategy if you're going GDI versus GDI. I feel like if you're going GDI versus GDI, there's not really a reason to not go comm center straight away. And there's definitely no reason, in my opinion, to go second weapons factory. Obviously, I'm open to suggestions and arguments about why you should do it. Because GDI just lacks a unit that can do that compared to Nod. They have bikes. They can keep up with medium tanks. You know, when spaced properly, bikes can outrange medium tanks. So Cav's rocket soldiers are going to do the heavy lifting here against the medium tanks. And he is going to require a lot of micro achieving that. Because his Humvees have to do the work against the infantry. Because if his Humvees fail to protect the rocket soldiers, then Cav doesn't have anything to deal with the medium tanks. But so far, it's working out pretty well. Because Noodles' medium tanks are not supporting their infantry. And as you can see now, because they're in front of the infantry, Cav has to do the micro, manually targeting every rocket soldier and rifleman to let his rocket soldiers do the rest of the work. But that is not coming without a cost. Cav is whole. Oh my god, bro, I slept so bad tonight. Oh. It was a long night as well. I think I went to bed at like 4 a.m. Not good. I don't recommend doing that, boys. Alright, Noodles is going to move forward. He took this as well. He's got a second weapon factory too, but he has that comm center out, and there is Cav's comm center finally. Able to produce medium tanks now as well. He was producing from 2 Raxes too, it seems, to try and keep up. He does have the superior infantry. Bro, I can't even come up with the word. Don't mind me. It's early for me. Quantity. There it is. I'm always trying to look for fancy words. Quantity. 7? Do we have 7? Yeah. We have 7 harvesters for Cav. It's kind of crazy. Let's have a look at the eco statistics in the meantime, because we are... it's quiet so far. Noodles is trying to put up the pressure, but as you can see, it's hard to see because Cav's color is brown, but there's a big peak just because of that amount of harvesters. And the army graph is kind of similar. But Noodles already with the 3rd expansion. Cav is working on that. But yeah, decent amount of rocket soldiers here from Cav in comparison to Noodles. Noodles is going to back off, but there's a nice split with 3 medium tanks, and that could actually be very, very good because this is completely undefended. There's still 3 harvesters here that can be damaged. There's a weapons factory as well, and the timing is going to be really good because the waypoint is... Yep, there we go. Cav realized, sends the harvesters away as well, but he still can't deal with that with just 1 medium tank. But on the other hand, Cav is busy as well, launching his attack, and it seems like he is on a roll. His army has grown real big, real fast in comparison to Noodles. He still has a couple of Humvees to deal with the rocket soldiers efficiently if he wants to. He has Grents, rifles, and rockets, and that's a big amount of rockets. He can just melt these medium tanks from Noodles. Let's see what's gonna happen. Noodles is pushing back slowly to try and trade efficiently, but it's not really working out. He doesn't have any infantry support. There come the rocket soldiers. The medium tanks are completely closed in by the cliffs, but that is a huge airstrike. That is gonna kill so much. Oh my god, the entire army just got wiped. What a bait from Noodles there. Keeps most of his medium tanks alive as well, and the threat in the meantime in the Cav's main base has been defeated. But Cav is still producing like crazy with 2 weapons factories and 2 Raxes, and actually Noodles lost his Rax, so he doesn't have any Rax production right now. That is going to slow him down substantially, and no one is going for the blue yet, not even like a long distance harvester. But Cav is smelling blood right now. He knows what time it is. He can feel it that Noodles is falling behind, and he's going to put the pressure again. Noodles is trying to go for a counterattack with his medium tanks, but Cav is ready with a couple of rocket soldiers as well. He should be able to turn the tides here just because of the rocket soldiers. That gets stopped for sure. In the meantime, Cav's putting on the pressure. The main base is getting sold. Noodles is retreating up north. The comm center is going to fall. No more medium tanks for Noodles. And this is looking bad for him right now. 17k versus 8k for Noodles. Doing some more selling so he can get some money back. Cav is putting the pressure up in the north now as well. There's no many rocket soldiers from Noodles, so he's gonna have an issue. He has no comm center, so he can't build tanks, and he's not producing rocket soldiers either. But because of the sheer amount of forces, Cav is going to retreat, and he's going to keep pursuing his flank on the right side. And to be fair, I don't see Noodles being able to come back for this. There's a 10k difference. Noodles calls the GG, and the first game goes to Cav.
Battle control terminated.
Alright. That was a pretty good first game. Yeah, that airstrike was crazy. Really good. Really nice bait from Noodles though. But unfortunately it was not enough to make a comeback. I feel like the sheer amount of harvesters actually did it for Cav as well. He was on 7 harvesters really quickly. Allowed him to produce from 2 Raxes and from 2 War Factories at the same time. Whereas Noodles was probably struggling to keep that up with 5 harvesters. And now we're going on to African Gambit. Like I said, probably the most favorable choice for most players. Both players going Nod, so we're gonna see a Nod mirror right now. And here we go. Nod mirror this time. Noodles was definitely the one keeping up the aggression in the previous game. Let's see if he can keep doing that in the Nod mirror. Because I feel like it's going to benefit him a lot more in the Nod mirror. Both players going for Raxes. Obviously they want to get control of these oils. Not that many oils on the field, but having these 2 early on is going to prove to be really nice. Cav is going to fence himself in completely. It's interesting to see how players like do different building placements. I actually think I like the one from Noodles a little bit more. However, I feel like the left player is still at a disadvantage because, you know, the right player, I feel like it should not be that hard to just, you know, there's no ERCC like in TD, but there should be an option to just, you know, mirror them. It's not that hard to mirror them, and it doesn't do that much, but I feel like the eco should be a little bit better for Noodles. Let's have a look at that. It's really hard to tell right now. Yeah, you can see that Noodles' income is just fairly better, and they're just both on 1 harvester each. And that is just mainly because of the refinery placement. As you can see, it's not much, but you know, in long term that could make the difference. Hey Duppin, long time no see, man. Hope you're doing well, and thanks for dropping by. Okay, Cav already on 2 oils, Noodles on 2 oils, with some sneaky rifles in the shadow. Prepping themselves to get some NG kills, and pretty similar build from Noodles and Cav. I think Cav, yep. Both players are just expanding a little bit. I actually like this. There's a lot of players, I think Borgmo does this. He goes straight for the middle here, and giving him access to both patches at the same time. I think it's kind of similar to, in terms of like build time or like build delay, because you know, the longer you move out, the longer it takes you to rebuild. But obviously with Cav and Noodle strategy like this, they have to move out twice in order to get the patch. But with this build, you can still get the expo, and this is what I like about it. You can still get access to the expansion tip, but you can also still place static defenses in your main base, which is something that I really like, because in this stage of the game, maybe a couple of minutes longer, there is still a possibility for you to get harassed by bikes. So it's really nice to still have that option to place a guard tower or a turret. Hey, Ubik Spray Can, welcome, man. Hope you're doing well. And we already got 5 harvesters for Cav again. And only 3 from Noodles so far. So once again, Cav is going to boom like crazy. With a similar amount of buggies on the field as well, which is actually kind of crazy how he keeps that up. Oh, slow reaction from Noodles there. Maybe he didn't want to chase, but he definitely could have taken out those 3 buggies. Very similar builds here. It's kind of crazy, but once again, like I said, harvester difference might make a difference. There's the 6th harvester for Cav. And they're both going full on buggies. No bikes yet to be seen. But once again, it is going to be Noodles with the first comm center. But it's also Cav once again spending money investments into infantry. And actually, this is not a really bad idea. It kind of reminds me of his CNC RA2 strategy, where you go Rhino tanks and dogs. And the dogs are actually just there to soak up the damage from the buggies. They're the soakers in this case. So, you know, just a handful of riflemen could definitely make a difference. Stream delay is 90 seconds as usual, mate. It's a minimum requirement for official matches, official league matches. Bro, there's so many plays flying over constantly, like what the fuck? That's what you get when there's an odd mirror. Alright, 3 airstrips for Cav and the comm center, but he is going to outproduce Noodles really fast. And Noodles wants to go for a split to deal damage, but because the map is kind of small, he can't really do that right now. Can't afford to do that, otherwise his main army is going to get demolished. And that still might be the case. Look at the micro from both players, but Noodles is trying to trade well. But Cav is going to come out on top, so Noodles needs to bring the fight to his base, where he can rely on static defenses to help him. Here we go, another engagement coming on. But there's some light tanks in the mix now from Cav, so these buggies are going to be useless. And already, just like that, Cav is trading very nicely here. 9k and 5k lost. 13k army value versus 8 already. And that gap is only going to get bigger with that triple war factory. But Noodles wins for triple barracks to try and keep up. Cav trying to go for a split with his bikes. His bikes are being caught. There is no way for them to escape. But Noodles has to retreat because the rest of the army is coming in. Noodles trying to flank from the north as well to try and get some nice damage. He's got a ton of rocket soldiers right now, so he could potentially turn this around. But he's having issues. The light tanks are going to be able to breach the fences if he wants. Noodles probably needs to eco slide a couple of harvesters over here too. But here comes Cav. Yep, light tanks are clearing the fences just like I said. Here we go, airship is getting targeted. There's nothing Noodles can do about this. He has to let it happen, but that means he has less production right now. Now he's going in with the infantry. He has a ton of rockets. Like I said, he can deal with the light tanks. But the light tanks were not really targeting... the rockets weren't really targeting the light tanks. There we go. Yep. Well, Cav is still ahead. Nudels is once again a little bit faster on production, but Cav is on tier 3. We're seeing Chem Troopers coming in the mix now as well. But I'm not sure they are actually worth it in a non-mirror. I'm not entirely sure because light tanks are a lot faster. Rocket soldiers have a lot more range, and Chem Troopers have to get a little bit closer. Sure, they are a little bit of a more all-around unit. They can deal a little bit better with infantry compared to their rocket soldier counterpart. But I'm not so sure because the rocket soldiers right now for Noodles are definitely paying off. But yeah, obviously stealth tanks could come in the mix. Let's have a look at the production tab in the meantime. Cav is still going for triple light tank, and he's building from 2 ranks with Chem Troopers. He is on 7 harvesters. This is the first match where Noodles actually has more harvesters. And he's gonna move out over there to try and harass that expansion maybe. Let's see if Noodles can do this. He still has 7k less army value, and his rocket soldiers are not being protected. The Chem Troopers are getting through. That was a huge blow for Noodles. His army was way too split up, and his rocket soldiers were there without any soaking, without any defense. And now their rifles are just trying to kill the light tanks. This is very unfortunate. But there's a switch into Arties. Could this work out for Noodles? Arties are obviously really good against infantry, and they are pretty good at light armor as well. But the Crushers are coming in with the light tanks. There's nothing to stop these light tanks from Cav. It's just too much. And Noodles' army has been completely wiped. Airstrike coming in, but this time it's not going to be a good airstrike. Gets a couple of light tanks, but it's not going to be enough to save him. 21k versus 4k, and Noodles, after a bravely fought battle, throws in the towel for the second game. Cav takes it home 2-0, and we're going potentially to the last game. This is tournament point
Battle control
for Cav.
terminated.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that Noodles was so late with light tanks, because actually he was the one going comms center first. Alright, Desert Mandarins this time. Once again, very small map. Let's see if they're going any this time. Yeah, very fast tier 3 from Cav there as well. It did the job. And besides that, it was mainly just a light tank with Chem Trooper combo, and he still had some buggies here and there that survived from you know, the first wave of production early on into the game. I don't think Cav made that many bikes. I think he made like 10 bikes in total, which is interesting. Usually if players go, at least that's what I do. If I go like double airstrip, I usually go 1 airstrip on buggies and 1 on bikes. But looking at Cav's gameplay, that might not be a good thing to do. It's hard to say, because obviously buggies beats bikes. So having more bikes, more buggies is always good. And he threw in a handful of riflemen as well. I like that pretty much. Just like I said, they work as soakers for this game. And then yeah, just Cav just steamrolled from there on out. Noodles macro was definitely on point there. He chose to go for another expansion over tier 3, which is what Cav did. But Yeah. Cat was the one putting on the aggression, and he traded well. So I feel like for him going tier 3 was a pretty good choice. Alright, here we go. Is this going to be a clean sweep for Calf? Or is Noodles going to make the comeback? I would love to see a comeback, to be honest. This was the same situation. This is the same situation pretty much that what happened with Borgmo versus Orp. And I was actually hoping for Orp to be able to do the same thing. Oh, here we go, regardless. Once again, a nod mirror. Noodles on the left, Calf on the right. Currently 2-0 for Calf. Can he turn it around? I'm definitely hoping it to be, otherwise it's going to be a very short stream. Yeah, I feel like this map is probably one of the fewer maps where you want to go for Rax Opener every single time. Except if you're named Orp. But I think even Orp on this map went Rax Opener. Yeah. I guess that's the reason why he went for. That's why brown is probably his favorite color, because he's used to be dealing with shit stains. Oh, Noodles with the escort. Already having 2 oils in his control. Wait, his... Oh, I was about to say, I thought... I saw Noodles having 2 rifles, but... For a second there, I thought Noodles just lost 2 rifles to 1 rifleman. That would be crazy. Yep, I agree with both players' move out. Very small starting cash. And on this map, that is the way to go. If you position yourself well, you can get access to these 3 tip trees. And there's the blue. Noodles is going to do the exact same thing. Cav being the greedier one here, he's going for 2 harvesters in a row straight away. Noodles is mixing some buggies in between. I feel like Cav's ideal eco production, I'm not sure if that's the case. I always thought it was 2. But I feel like 3, he's usually going for 3 harvesters per tip patch. But yeah, the disadvantage about going a little bit greedier is that Noodles could have been able to camp the airstrip. But I do like the fact that Cav's Rax is right next to it. It might have been unintentional, but that allows it that even if Noodles tried to camp it, Noodles' bikes have to deal with the airstrip production and the rifle production at the same time. Plus he's also really close to the harvesters, so Cav could have abused the harvesters as soak shields. But regardless of that fact, Noodles was not able to keep up the pressure. He does have a substantial bigger army though, but he needs to make it count, and that is the question. Can he do that? He's moving into non-territory from Cav. That is going to be dangerous. He does have superior bikes, but like I said, there are going to be guard towers. Ooh, and that's a really good trade for Cav. And he's not even going to get the harvester. That's close, and that is a huge loss for Noodles. I feel like it was a good strategy, but maybe if Noodles actually used his bikes to kill the buggies as well, he might have been able to trade more effectively. And then after the threat was denied, he could have then killed the harvester. But then he probably risked to get another guard tower in the face. So yeah, this is a big blow to Noodles. And Cav is not going to take advantage of that yet. He's got his double airstrip running. He is going to be in control. So Noodles is going to need to get a pretty good trade in order to make a comeback. Oh, but the engineer's there in the mix. Cav is very confident that he could have made that trade, but it's not working out. And now it's actually Noodles with a pretty good trade. I actually think they traded kind of evenly there. It looked really good, but it's not looking that great anymore. And now Noodles' main base could actually be in trouble. And he's making the shift into light tanks, but is that going to be a good idea? There's enough bikes that can deal with the light tanks. Yep, and there you're going to see it. Light tanks are not going to be able to make something happen here. And the longer this is going to move on, the harder it's going to get. There's 3 airships for Cav. He's going to stay on tier 1 for this because he knows he has the advantage. He has the upper hand. Harvester pressure right now. So Noodles is forced to take the fight. There's so many bikes. Maybe with the harvester soakings, he might be able to do it. One harvester goes down. Another harvester is going to go down. The third one is willing to sacrifice himself as well. Third one is going to go down. The bikes are still alive. They're still going to trade effectively. Bikes are on the run. More bikes are coming in. The bikes are actually trading against the buggies. It's going to be rough. Heroic buggy right there stays alive. No, goes down because of the husk explosion. What a trade. Noodles was able to get back on track in terms of army value, but he lost so many harvesters. He is on 2 harvesters currently versus 6. This is going to be over. Noodles has no cash, and Cav is thriving on 3 airstrips and went for the comm center right now. Nice turret right there. Even lost 2 buggies because of that. And yeah, Noodles couldn't actually do anything there because he had 1 light tank. Oh, he sold the MCV to get cash. Oh no. Oh no, he might have regretted that. Now he can't make static defenses. Dear God. There's almost a 7k army value difference. Yeah, here comes the bikes. Yeah, this is over. Yep, Noodle sees it, calls the GG, and Cav moves forward, taking the 3-0 over Noodles. And that means we are going to go have a pretty insane finals. Bro, I said good luck. Are the brackets anywhere? Yeah. They're on the TDGL website, bro. They're on the TDGL bracket. All right, that concludes it. So we can have a quick look at what the brackets look like. Damn, I can't even speak anymore. So these were the group stages. And then we have the playoffs, obviously. So this is already been concluded. Eventually it was between Milkman and Jinx. And I think there's still a third place being played, but I'm not sure if that is actually going to happen. And on the elite part, we had Cav moving forward. Well, look at all these arrows, bro. Anyways, I know that in the end over here, Orp ended up playing Blacken over here, so he moved on versus Borgmo. Borgmo took him out, so Borgmo is awaiting in the finals. And this is what happened on the other side. We had Cav versus Noodles. Cav moved on, and that means we're gonna get a best of 7 between Borgmo and Cav, and that is actually going to be a very, very entertaining finals game. I'm not sure when it is going to go down, but I will make sure to keep you guys up to date, and I will be streaming it live if the opportunity provides me. So yeah,